named as Select, which deals with enhancement of English language. We conducted the inaugural on last Saturday. I suppose most of you were present for the event. We had conducted an APL test, and based on which we have grouped the participants. And today we have group A and B with us. So on behalf of the STA Association, I warmly welcome all of you. I also extend my welcome to Dr. Smita Pinte ma'am, the STA coordinator, Sneha Ratnapati ma'am, and Mure sir, who was the first resource person. And now I would like to introduce our resource person for today's technical session. We have Mrs. Chaya Vyavahari with us. She has been working as a staff with the BYD College and HPT College for the last 25 years. Ma'am has 17 years of experience in your board paper assessment, and she has worked as a resource person for various training programs and has conducted sessions for 12th standard students as well. She has also worked as a freelancer for the Times of India, a very renowned newspaper, for a very good period of 5 years. So we warmly welcome you, ma'am, and I now request Indra ma'am to please felicitate our guests for today.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
See, last Saturday, when we started a session, we had an expectation that you would come up with new topics, that what is your requirement as a school teacher or maybe as a junior college teacher. But when we conducted a test, April, so in the last section, in the descriptive section, we found that most of the teachers had written that yes, it is a good initiative started by STA. So we did not actually find any suggestion or a concrete topic which we should take further. But we are going to discuss it later on, and if you have something in your mind that we should conduct, so please come up with your ideas. So is there any idea in your mind? Any topic, particular topic that must be dealt in this training? Anything in your mind? Okay, anyways, we can discuss it later as well. So we did not have a clear-cut idea about what to start with. So we thought that the second session should be it can be a general session as well. So which will talk about the roles and responsibilities and skills and all that, professional development, all about the development of the teacher. So let us begin with the session today, and then you might get more and more ideas about what should we take in the next session. Is it visible for everyone? So the objective, first of all, the roles and responsibilities. When we talk about the roles and responsibilities of an English teacher especially, the teacher has to play multifaceted role. I don't think you need to write only. If you read, we can forward the PPT on you. You can just interact and participate actively. Okay? So when we talk about the role, when we talk about the objectives and goal, see what happens as a teacher of English. It is very important for us to facilitate the learning procedure and create a better environment for the students to learn English and learn English as a language, not as a subject. Most in the schools and even colleges, what happens between English as a subject and not as a language. So this is where I think we make some mistakes, and we fail to teach them some of the skills which are very important. And so that is why it is very important for a teacher to foster these skills, the language skills. Sir has mentioned many more skills last time in his session, and so developing the skills of students, that is more important. And we know what are those skills, so we are not going to repeat it. And still we can discuss more about it later on. What are the different ways how we can inculcate all these skills effectively, more effectively. Okay? And obviously, being a teacher of English, we need to nurture that kind of a love for English so that the students can understand it better in a more playful way. So, achieving curriculum standards is the pressure for every teacher. So, be it a language teacher or any teacher. So, you have a pressure to achieve the highest curriculum standard. So, the teacher has to be prepared accordingly. And the second point tells us that enhanced communication skills. Again, obviously, as an English teacher, we are going to keep talking about the English enhancement skills, professional development, because it is a part and parcel of our job. We cannot say that we are educated, we have this degree, so right now my job is done. So I am going to teach till I get retired. So your job does not stop there. So the professional development is a continuous development, ongoing process. So obviously we will feel that most of the points are repeated, but still we will have to repeat them. They are important. Okay. So the communication skill is one such thing, one such aspect of a teacher which can create effectiveness, which can create a kind of impactful learning environment for the students. Not only for the students, but also it can help to build a very good rapport with the parents and as well as with your colleagues. Obviously, I told you about you have to prepare students to appear for the examination. That is why you set your standard that yes, this and this should be your result. You should break the record next year. So your goal, your target is to give maximum result, and that is why we always keep trying for the high score and the marks. But apart from the marks, obviously we have to set a very good curriculum standard. Okay, we have to make them capable for the academically, prepare students academically so that they are ready to face the world with good English and they are able to use the English as a language in the real life. Obviously, there are multiple points, so let us talk about the role of an English language teacher. Obviously, English language teacher has to play lots of roles. The teacher is educator, the teacher is facilitator, the teacher is a collaborator, the teacher is like a manager of the class, mentor, evaluator is the assessor. The teacher has to play multiple roles. So, educator, this is the basic role of a teacher, primary role of the teacher. So primary role is you have to conduct effective lessons in the class so that the students understand and obviously they implement English language in the real life. So education, providing education, conducting lectures, like preparing your lesson note and using different types of methods in the class is a kind of a primary task of the teachers. That is the basic role, being an educator. So you have to think that how you can influence students and how you can create an impactful atmosphere in the classroom. Try to take active participation from the students. A facilitator. Now facilitator is very important role because we cannot say that a teacher's role is only limited towards the class. It is beyond classroom as well. So can anyone tell me how the role of a teacher goes beyond classroom? What does a teacher has to do outside the classroom? How does a teacher play a role of facilitator? You facilitate the student to do something additional, to do something extra. Means you motivate. That means you encourage the student to do something extra. So what is that? How do you facilitate the child or the student? By encouraging taking participation in different type of activities. And we have gatherings, we have cultural gatherings, we have different kinds of philosophy competitions and many more competitions in the schools or colleges. So there, an English teacher has to play an important role as a facilitator. So you have to influence, you have to create a very good impression, you have to give him confidence to speak in front of the class, okay, so that he learns that activity as well. So, and one more, critical thinking ability. You can develop critical thinking ability among your students. In what way? You don't have to spoon feed your students, because all the teachers are jug. I hope you are familiar with that principle. Jug and mug. All the teachers are full of knowledge. They have a knowledge of jug. They keep pouring into the students' mug. Okay. So we are obviously we are jug, but we are not going to just empty. We are not going to pour the knowledge into the cup or mug of students. What do we have to do exactly? So how can we develop the critical thinking ability? What are the different ways to foster this?
By given tasks to student tasks.
By giving different tasks or a project work to the students and yes.
If suppose we are teaching a lesson which is made about a lot of has some dialogue in it, so we should let them or make some arrangement that they are each one is playing a role, and then they can read the what we say the script and perform that activity in the class.
Yes. See what happens usually we cannot use a particular method just because that is successful. Usually in the higher classes, in the senior college level, we use lecture method because we have certain like 50 minutes or 1 hour and we have to complete kind of one lesson or that particular topic within the given time. But here we don't have to do like that. We are not robots. And the children, they are in a developing stage, they are in a growth stage, okay? So we are thinking about their minds. We are developing their minds. They are sharpening their minds. So that is why this is the time, this is the period when we are going to develop their critical thinking ability. So if you give them everything ready-made, they will not think about it. Okay? So if you just tell them that Google these words, okay, these are the words, can you guess the meaning? When the meaning comes in context, can you guess the meaning? Oh, if you are not able to guess, just Google it. Okay. So that Googling is what that is. That means it is a kind of a spoon feeding, or it is kind of a ready-made material available to them. So they have stopped thinking on their own. So critical thinking ability. A situation is given to the students. So think about this particular situation in a different angle. Think it positively, think it negatively, take it in a light manner, or consider it as a neutral. So give your reaction to everybody's reaction, everybody's opinion, perspective can be different about a particular situation. So this is the additional task that we have to do. Otherwise, completing the syllabus, that is like a basic job that we have to carry out. So, mentor, again a guidance and support for the language learning. So, especially at the school level, you are the mentor, you are the coach of your students. You are the coach, you are the ideal person for them. See, your students, they will not listen to their parents, but they will listen to you, just because you are like a role model for them. You are like mentor, you are like coach. See, the children trust you, and that is why you can play your role very well here. So how you have to play your role here when it comes to the language learning? As a mentor. Because we know all the students are not same. There are 60 students in the class, but yeah.
Given the opportunity to lead the students in the class, you will speak in front of the in English.
See, all the students are not same. We know everyone's capacity is different. Everyone's ability to understand, grasp is different. Okay, some students are average, some are below average, some are above average. So the teacher has to manage, the teacher has to keep a balance when he deals with the students. Okay. So that time we have to think about tell him once. But this particular student, he does not understand even if I tell him 10 times. So obviously he needs my extra attention. So I need to help him even after the class. So the weaker section of the class needs special coaching, extra coaching. There are some schools in Nashik, I know. So they segregate their students or they categorize their students in different groups. And the weaker students, they get extra attention and they are given extra classes, especially for the maths and science. I don't know what is happening in your school, but this strategy is implemented by many schools. So I have seen that. So this is where the role of the mentor is very important. Okay? And if a particular student who is very bright, very intelligent, so he needs something more, he needs something additional to grow more better. Okay? So obviously you need to pay attention to him as well. To support him, he comes to you and he tells you that yes teacher, I have prepared a speech and tell me what are the corrections. So this is where your role comes. Okay? So you need to check the speech, correct it, wherever there is a correction just correct it, guide him, motivate him. So you become a mentor or a role model for the child. Evaluator, as you know that obviously you have tests and assessment throughout the year. So you are playing your role as an evaluator or as an assessor very well. But that is not the only thing you have to do. As a teacher, you have to make sure that whatever I am taking in my class, is it sufficient for the students? Is it helping them? And can I see that kind of a performance, what I am expecting in the results? So you have to give them continuous assessment. Okay. 3 months, I have observed you, I have assessed you. There was weekly test, there was monthly test, unit test or whatever. Okay. But I cannot see a good development. Okay. So in that case, yeah, I think there is something wrong with my teaching method. So I need to implement another strategy. So I need to find out another method. Obviously, we use combination of methods. Do not stick to any particular method, right? Because we know that the children cannot understand only particular method. Sometimes, obviously, we need to judge ourselves, and we know that yeah, I am good at explaining, but I am not good at interactive session. I am not able to encourage my students for the active participation or interaction. So I need to develop that angle. So that is an assessment of student as well as teacher. So assess yourself at the same time. So some more essential skills, or you can say attributes of a teacher or soft skills of the teacher, which are very important. Once again we are coming to the same point. Linguistic proficiency, mastery of grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation. So this is very basic. Do you think it is very important at this stage?
Yes.
Should we talk about the grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation even after so many years of service?
Yes, it is important.
It is important. Why? We have already learned this in our school, in our college. We have done the degree of B.Ed. Now what? What is the need of this topic?
Because we should be able to make our students understand that English is or any language, foreign language, is a global language, and it can avail them to explore new opportunities which are present abroad. So by doing this, we ourselves, a lot of teachers lag in their English vocabulary or pronunciation. Sometimes they pronounce M as young. Still students in classes say yes, not yes. There are a lot
Very good
of
observation. Yes, I appreciate.
Thank you so much.
Very good. So these are the minute observations. Okay. See, that is the reason we need to talk about these basic topics. So most of you will feel that yeah, I am going to retire after 5 years, maybe 4 years. So why should I deal with this? So sometimes, as a teacher, you might be having that kind of approach, which is negative. But I'm sure if you learn all these things, if you get yourself involved in the different kinds of training programs, you will enjoy it students, but do it for yourself. You will definitely feel better as a teacher. So, mastery of grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation, that is very, very important. If you are a master, obviously, if you have something in your jug, then you can give to students. Then you can pour into the students' mouth. Okay? So, I don't say that everybody is perfect. Obviously, English is our second language. Our first language is something else. Marathi, Hindi, Gujarati, whatever. But still I feel that we can achieve the proficiency, we can achieve the mastery. I am not saying that we focus on it right now or this can happen within a day or this can happen within 1 year. If you have just joined your job, you have recently completed your degree, BA, MA, BEd and all that, and now you are not interested in taking any more degree. So you just want to continue with your job. But when you continue with your job, after some years there is a stagnation with your knowledge. So mentally you should grow, professionally you should grow, right? Personally you should grow. So you should grow from all the angles. Okay? So if your development is holistic, obviously you can give something extra to your student. Okay? So this thing is important, and as far as learning these things are concerned, you have so many platforms available these days. We know everything about it. We are going to talk about it later on, what are the platforms available for learning this. And you can just do one thing, that is, you know that where do you lack. For example, I think I lack in tenses. So I think I should give some time or at least decide a specific goal. I think I should give this month for the tenses. I am going to read all about tenses. I am going to practice more. I am going to find out what are the different exams available online regarding the tenses. So I am going to focus more on that specific area. I am going to take help of my mentors, my teachers. Mure sir is not here, but we keep asking him. I keep asking Sneha, me, and we all teachers keep sharing everything together. And you should not feel shy about asking someone to your seniors. Okay? So that is all okay if you ask something to your seniors. Okay? So you should be flexible. Instructional skills. Okay? Like these are common for all the teachers. These are compulsory basic lesson planning, classroom management, diverse teaching methods. So although it is very common, very basic, like primary and compulsory for all the teachers, but how you can do it different? What are the different ways? I know I can see there are different teaching aids placed over here, and I can see the handwriting of the students as well, as if they are prepared with the help of the students. So it is a very good thing that students have actively participated in the preparation of these teaching aids. So this is actually wonderful. So when you are preparing your teaching methods, when you are thinking about now how I deal with this lesson, you have to teach lessons, poems, drama, novels, short stories, writing skills and grammar. So I have to think every time, how do I deal with this? Because from many years I have been using the same method and now I am bored with this.
What happens is when we keep on teaching students, so what happens is the speed of our teaching actually matters. What happens is when we are teaching too slow, students get bored of it. They are not getting involved totally in our conversation of whatever we are teaching. What they do is they start murmuring or giggling in classes. So if we keep them on their toes and their minds stay occupied, so what happens is if we take it in an interactive way and we start teaching fastly or we increase the speed by some amount, they will be on their toes and they will be listening to us. And if we directly ask questions while delivering the lecture or conducting the class, they will be more responsive and they will be more.
Very good observation. This is a common problem of every teacher. There are slow learners and there are fast learners as well. So how do you deal with these learners? They are fast, sometimes they are slow, and it depends upon the topic. For example, if the topic is difficult, nobody understands. Even the fast learners will also not understand. So how to handle it? So obviously it is a in the area of this topic. So I think the students' performance is still poor. It is still weak. So I need to find out a different method. So keep thinking about it. When you prepare a lesson plan, when you think about the methodology, so keep thinking about the new diverse variety of teaching. Communication, one word repeated at the topic. Clear and effective verbal written communication. The teacher has to be very much clear in written and spoken communication. If the teacher is wrong, if the teacher makes mistakes, then what can happen? So the image of the role model, which is there in front of your student, obviously it will be shattered. So please take care of your verbal and written English. And obviously, initially you have to give some time to yourself. You cannot become a master of verbal English as well as written English. But initially you have to give some time to yourself. And then gradually you get the accuracy and later on fluency. Can you tell me what is the difference between accuracy and fluency? Or are they same?
Fluency means the command of that language.
Command of that language.
Accuracy means the no mistakes.
No mistakes of grammar. Very good. Would you like to say something? Second participant.
Actually, it is like if you are speaking accurate English, you cannot misspeak your words, or you cannot make mistake while speaking. And if you are saying about the fluency, you shouldn't stop in between your sentences. You should stop at commas, or you should stop at full stops. Take pause at commas and take stops at full stops.
Very good. So accuracy, I hope everybody has understood the definition of accuracy. Accuracy means error-free production of language. Error-free. No grammatical mistake, no vocabulary, no pronunciation, nothing else. Okay? So error-free production of language is your accuracy. And fluency means to be able to speak without undue pauses and hesitation of words.
Problem. So when you are able to deliver your language smoothly without undue pauses, I would not say without pauses because pause is important. Okay. So without undue pauses, without hesitation, without fumbling for the words. Okay. So that is more important. So try to see that how you can be more and more effective in your written and verbal communication. Interpersonal skills, building rapport with the students and colleagues and also with the parents. Now this is very important responsibility of a teacher because school teacher, he has to play this role very importantly and building rapport with the students. There are different ways. How can we build rapport with the students? And why it is necessary to build rapport with the students? Why shouldn't we do only our job and take the salary and go home? Why is it important to build a rapport with the students and the colleagues? What are the benefits of it? The most active participant. I'm expecting. How it is going to help to the result and overall performance of the student? Do you think it is going to help to the performance of the student? In what way? Yes. Yes, very good. Huh.
As teacher will be more like a friend to student and we can be more effective by play the role of guide.
Yes, that intimacy, closeness, yes, the friendly nature, that is very important. That is why sometimes you need to know the background of students. Okay? The teacher who does not know the name of students is useless. The teacher should know the name of his or her students. Sometimes teacher should know the background of the particular student. I know this student is from the weaker section, he needs extra attention, he has this behavioral problem. There are many problems. School teacher has to face many challenges as well. So there are multiple problems, but we have to keep in mind that this particular student, yeah, he needs extra. He is very talented, very brilliant, and he is like, his brain is not satisfied with only what is there in his book. So he needs something extra. So I should provide him, like, just because I am his mentor. So you have to build a very good rapport with the students as well as with the colleagues for the healthy environment. And that is why I told you that we all teachers of English, we keep interacting with each other, and that is the reason we have very healthy relationship in the college. So you have to build a very good rapport with the students, colleagues, as well as with the parents, so that the parents can keep a track of the performance of their child. Again, some of the prerequisites of a language teacher, or you can say uh, soft skills, which are very basic things for the teacher, like passion for teaching. Why do we need to have passion for teaching? We are a teacher, we are academically fit, we are competent enough to teach. Why do we need to have passion? My passion is something else. I am working as a teacher here, so I will mind my profession as a teacher, and my passion is something else. Do you think it is okay?
If you have passion of people, you will be more effective and you love what you do. It is not us, right?
Yes.
So if we are loving our job, so we will be effective enough and get more results from.
Yes, for the sake of the student, for the sake of the performance of the students, and obviously you have to do this job till the end of retirement, till your lifetime. So do it happily, do it like it is your hobby, and try to upgrade yourself in this thing. Like, that is why it should become your passion. So it should not remain only a job, only a work for you. So then you will get more and more satisfaction, you will feel more confident. Okay. Patience and empathy. Patience is very important for the school teacher. I hope you all agree, right? Because the school students, they are in a growth stage. So they have like their hormones are always on a high or always on a peak. So you have to somehow manage, you have to balance your emotions, your control, your mood. You cannot like get irritated, you cannot get frustrated with them. You know they are children. Especially you must have noticed the difference between boys and girls. Girls are like ekdam silent, and boys, they are continuously moving here and there. Okay. So this is how you have to manage. So you have to keep patience, empathy, be sympathetic towards them. Adaptability. Adaptability means flexibility, resilience. So teacher has to be flexible, and teacher has to have that quality of adaptability. Adaptability means be open to learn anything which is new to you. Don't say that now I am above 40, I am above 50, I can't learn this new technology. No, this is not my cup of tea. Sorry, don't tell me that. Please, I am going to manage with only my one textbook and course book or whatever it is. Okay, don't say that. So be flexible, be adaptable, be open to the new things and new challenges as well. And you know that the changes are going to happen. Change is the only one constant thing in the world. So you are going to see the change. You have to accept it. Accept it, learn it, implement it. Okay, that is the funda. Communication skills. Again, communication skills. So this is the most important thing, communication skill. We all know that sir also spoke about all the communication skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, thinking. And we know that it has all the aspects, different aspects. So listening cannot be taken so lightly. Listening is the first skill of a child. When we are talking about communication skill, once again, so I think first we talk about the listening skill, which is the most important skill to learn a language. Because learning a language, when a child learns a language, his first step is listening. So why don't you learn to listen like a podcast or any kind of a music or any kind of music with the lyrics in front of you. When you watch any kind of a video, when you watch a movie on a Netflix, keep the captions on so that you can see what is there. So in communication skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, all these skills are equally important. So we cannot say that any one skill, yeah, we cannot underestimate the importance of any one skill. All the skills are equally important, and thinking is equally important. As I told you in the beginning, that we cannot spoon feed the child, we cannot give him anything, everything ready made. So, otherwise, he will stop thinking. So, if you want to foster the thinking ability, develop the thinking ability of a child, and create a beautiful learning environment, do not provide everything ready made. Okay? Most of the time, you feel that yes, these are the rules and these are the examples. Take it down in your notebook. Even when we teach grammar, there are two methods. Means there are multiple methods, but I would like to mention two methods. Um, Ruleg and Igrul. Who knows about this? Does anyone know about this? Ruleg and Igrul. Ruleg means first you give the rule and then you give example. So that is ruleg. Rule and then example. This is the rule. Subject, verb and object. And then you give the example. So that is called ruleg. Okay. So general tendency is that yes, learn the rule. So these are the rules and these are the examples. And then the second is first give example and then you can frame the rule. Okay. First give example. This is the example. And now tell me what can be the rule. So obviously, so there are multiple methods, different methods, and so you have to decide which will work with, what type of students. Okay, because students are different. They come from various backgrounds. Their learning ability is also different, and so it is a challenge in front of you to choose a selective method. Obviously, you have to combine different methods, and that is why communication skill plays very important role here. Am I going fast? It's okay. Organization and time management. Organize. What do we have to organize? And time management. Obviously, we have a syllabus. We know that I have to complete this within that given time framework. So I don't have time to take extra activities. So I know it is very idealistic to speak in front of you that why don't you conduct activities, you should do this, you should do that. But in fact, actually, when you are trying to implement in your class, maybe you have different hurdles in front of you. So idealistic talk can be something else, and when you actually start implementing, it can be a different affair altogether. But you can try doing this. Okay, so I think organization and time management, again, it is a kind of a challenging thing in front of you. So if you have a class of 30 to 40 students, it is difficult to implement activities. But if the class is like a large 60, 70 students, then it is difficult. Then you cannot control the class. Okay, so you have to manage the students behavior as well. Continued professional development, as we discussed this earlier. So professional development of a teacher, we talked about the personal, like academic development of the teacher. The teacher should have different kinds of soft skills, the teacher should have basic skills, and like professional development, what kind of professional development is important for the teachers. Okay, so as I told you that we cannot stop at one particular point. This is the phase of my life, now I want to stop here. I have got everything, I have got my permanent job, now I don't need to do anything, I am happy, I am going to enjoy my life. Okay, but when are you going to upgrade yourself as a teacher? Wherever you go in any job, not only as a teacher but in any job, you have to upgrade yourself, and that is why this is the demand of the time. So every year we can see there is a sea change. Lots of changes are happening in your field. So you need to have that flexibility to adopt it, to learn it, to implement in your class. So what do you think? What are the different ways through which you can go for the professional development?
Consuming more and more English content.
Yes, consuming more and more English content. Do you think it helps you?
Yes, it does help you. Why? Because we can implement this in our daily life. Why? Because we at least we are 1 to 2 hours of ourselves for scrolling into, right?
Yeah.
So we scroll on YouTube, we scroll on Facebook, whatever we are seeing. We can enable the function in our phone which provides a CC. It's called as caption.
Captions. Very good. Yes.
In the caption, we can see the translation of the whatever it is. We can keep an eye on the sentences and we can get the we can consume this stuff, we can hear podcasts, we can read books, we can actually listen audio. These are very popular research. So, think about like, is it really relevant to us? Just start with it.
Yes. Very good. See, like you do not have any kind of a restriction. You cannot say that I teach English, so I need to find out something which is relevant to my topics. Like I will read only about poems, I will read only about the lessons, I will read only about the drama, and so anything which comes in front of you which is English. Okay, so as sir mentioned, there are many podcasts on the Spotify, there are many audiobooks available on the Amazon. You can start dealing with them, and there are multiple accounts, there are multiple YouTube channels which have very good, like they are like they are providing very good English stuff. So if you subscribe them, if you follow them, and I think everybody uses social media, so if you start following these people, so these channels and these accounts personally, so that is going to help you a lot. Apart from that, keep interacting among yourself, immerse yourself into that language. Do not keep this language only for that particular period. No, I taught my English lesson and English lecture is done, now I don't have to do anything with the English. So no, that is not like switch on and switch off. Okay, immerse yourself in the English. Okay, submerge yourself in that English. Okay, so interact with your seniors in English. Okay, interact with your students in English. Most of the time, I know when you are dealing with the students of Marathi medium, maybe Gujarati medium, maybe Hindi medium, the students who are not of English medium. So usually what happens, your problem is you feel that they will not understand, so you directly start using the translation method, and so this is where the problem arises. Because of the translation method, what happens, the child understands the lesson, but that is just a translation. He has understood, he has grasped that content in Marathi or in Hindi or in Gujarati, but if you try to explain in simple English, let him get used to it, otherwise he will never learn. So the most important job is of the primary teacher, I feel. If the primary teacher insists of using English in the class, and if they make it compulsory even to the students, that is going to help them. Obviously, these students are going to the secondary, they are going to the higher secondary. So their base, their like fundamental years of learning, they should be, they are very important, and that during that year they should get that opportunity to learn, to understand, to utilize. So do not use grammar translation method or directly translation method. Okay. Ask them, even if they are making mistakes, let them make mistakes. So it doesn't matter if they do, if they are not perfect, if they are not coming up with the proper response. Don't expect proper response. That is going to happen in the initial years because that is their learning stage. So do not encourage them for the Marathi or Hindi or Gujarati, whatever the medium is. Because students insist for Marathi word. I want the meaning in Marathi, then only I can understand. No. Try to break that word and try to find out the word in a, like, try to give the simplest meaning in English. Okay. So if you insist your students to use English in the class, then only they are going to develop the learning atmosphere. And in most of the English medium schools as well, I have noticed, I have heard from many teachers that students use Hindi when they communicate among themselves. Why there is a need of Hindi? Does it happen in foreign country? Do they use Hindi? Do they use Marathi? No. They start learning English right from the beginning. Why do you need the support of your mother tongue or any other national language? So whatever the fundamental or whatever the principle is being applied in the English medium schools, even that is wrong. So it is your duty as a school teacher, because when we get students, they come from the they come after 10th standard. So they are mentally ready to accept what they get in the at the college level, because they cannot change themselves, because for the entire 10 years they have learned in a similar fashion. Now they are used to that pattern, so they want same kind of thing from the college teachers. So then it is out of our control. So that is why I insist you to make it compulsory for your students to use English. So continued professional development. So in which you can go for the various webinars, workshops, training programs. There are in-service training programs which are there after 12 years, but I think they should be every after 5 years. And apart from that, there are many online workshops. You can attend that workshops as well. So that is going to help you certainly. So what are the professional skills? We know personal skills as a teacher, but professional skills. So pedagogical knowledge is knowledge as a teacher. What kind of knowledge a teacher should have? Obviously, we are a teacher of English. We have done MA, B.Ed. So we know literature, we know drama, we know novels, we know grammar, we know short stories, and we know writing skills. Okay, that is our area. But apart from that, what do you think? What is that extra which is needed to the teachers? Hmm.
Huge bank of vocabulary.
Huge?
Bank of
Okay, huge bank of vocabulary. Okay. What about others? What do you think? In the pedagogical knowledge, or as a knowledge, as a knowledge of English teacher, what do you require? Hmm?
knowledge about creative skills for everyone.
Yes. Latest tools, digital gadgets which are available.
Things are activity.
Yes.
Actually, a lot of activity they promote to students. What is going to know?
Huh.
They open the Google website.
Right.
They start writing it down.
Yes.
So actually, I have to understand. I have been giving about this. What is going to be right first? One person. What to do is, they went home.
Huh.
They took the tools and they took off the Google. What I did is I collected all this. Collected from Google. I asked them first, did you write some sentence? Some of them agreed. After that, when I started reading, then I found that the language that they use, they are not taking on these questions.
Yes.
We should be doing this. Why? Because we should start encouraging them to write language. We should know about it. We should know about this. If they can use it.
Yes. Yes. Obviously. Again, it is a challenge for teacher. We can use these tools, but we can't ask students to use these tools. Okay, these tools are only for the teachers. Okay, because teachers know pros and cons of these tools. If they expose their students to these tools, what is going to happen? They are going to be completely dependent on these tools. They will never use their brain to find out the answer from the passage and to think about a particular topic. They will not be used, they will not be able to develop their critical thinking ability. And so that is why, according to our pedagogical knowledge, we have to collect different kind of tools, maybe digital tools, maybe different kind of knowledge, maybe different kinds of resources, or maybe different kinds of methods. So we will keep implementing, we will keep on trying different methods and strategies in the classroom, but we can't tell the students that yes, there is a chat GPT, go and find out the answer. Prepare this kind of a project work, okay? Because we don't have enough time now. So go and prepare your project with the help of the chat GPT. So we can't rely on that, okay? Classroom management. So again, classroom management, we have discussed about this, how to manage your classroom, because it is the responsibility of a teacher to manage your class in a different way. Okay, teacher has to manage the class, teacher has to manage the behavior of the student, teacher has to manage the mood of himself or herself, teacher has to manage the mood of the students, teacher has to think about the different abilities of the students, their potential, and then the teacher has to implement different things. Assessment and feedback is very important. So obviously, when you assess their papers, you come to know, and then you give the feedback to their parents. Yeah, this is the like performance, or this is the progress of your child. Now you need to pay more attention, and obviously you have told your parents that obviously what they have to do, they have to pay more attention, they have to uh, do something regarding that. Okay, but that is also your job. That feedback is also for you. It is not only for the child. There may be something wrong with your strategy or the technique or the methodology that you are applying. So try to change it, find out. So self analyze yourself, self introspect yourself.
And then we can look at this basic problem of country classroom because we rely on the traditional method of teaching.
Yeah.
Right? If you start rewarding students, like if you start taking a chocolate box of 100 chocolates,
Yeah.
you are conducting classes for over a year. If you carry 100 chocolates every day, if you start out interactive method when teaching, what will happen if you reward students with a chocolate instead of them with chocolate? They will be they will be doing some of it. They will
Yeah. They will be encouraged to speak more in the class, right? Very good.
that kind of such interactive ideas or innovative ideas for us.
Yes, very good, sir. Obviously, technology integration. Technology is there, but is it actually feasible? Is it actually practically possible to use or to integrate that technology in our day-to-day teaching? Now, tell me your practical experience. Do you think it is actually possible to use the technology every day? No, it is not possible. Then what do you do? Weekly or monthly? What do you do? How do you organize the sessions? And especially for the topics which are difficult or which are to be focused more.
If we are talking about this experience in the tech, and if we want to make a understanding about what the setting of the board, how the people of the how they use it, we can show the various of that, and we can use it as a
Yeah, very good. See what happens, even I am not for the smart classrooms. Okay, if there are smart classrooms, even at home, the students are continuously in front of the screen. When they are in the school, they are in front of the screen. So that screen is somewhere, I think, wrong. So it lacks a kind of a physical conversation, like physical interaction. So they are continuously in interaction with the screen. So I think there is no need of that smart classroom. But even if there is no smart classroom, so you can do something else. Okay. I know practically it is not possible to use all kinds of digital tools. When we say, it is easy to say, but when we practically implement, it is difficult to implement. So what can we do? Weekly, or maybe in the Saturday, or maybe once a month, we can plan such kind of a session. Just like you have this kind of a big screen, you can show them different kinds of a drama or whatever there is in that lesson. Okay, the drama or the lesson or the poem, you can show them in the animated form, so that the visual memory will be more strong for the students.
as an English teacher, I can use this method. Why? I can give them a movie and tell them to summarize the movie.
Yes.
Or discuss about the plot, discuss about the protagonist, everything
Yes.
you can.
Very good. So these are some of the ways. Obviously, we can't expect everyone to use these gadgets in day-to-day teaching, but it is not practical. But we can plan it weekly, we can plan it once a month, and we can give it a good try. Professionalism, resilience. Resilience means again flexibility. Professionalism. We should have a professional attitude, perspective. Okay, when we are dealing with others as a teacher, when we deal with the students, when we deal with the parents, when we deal with the colleagues, okay, there should not be any kind of a political atmosphere. So the atmosphere or the environment of the staff room or the classroom, that should be very much healthy, so that you feel free to discuss any topic with anybody. So resilience means acceptance. Accept everything whichever comes to you. Collaborative skills, teamwork, parent and community engagement. Okay, you work as a collaborator. Okay, you have a very big role to play. Okay, you have to manage all these people together, like parents, colleagues, students, and all these things. You cannot say that, yeah, I can, my role is only for the students. No, you have to deal with the parents, you have to deal with the stakeholders, you have to deal with the society members, you have to deal with everybody. So sometimes there may be a problem. Okay, your principal will not allow you to use certain method. Your principal will, she might object, or he might object to whatever you are doing. You are trying to implement something innovative method or unique method in your class, but you might not get support from your principal, from your stakeholders, from your authority, but still you have to manage that. So you are a collaborator, you are flexible enough to adopt with the situation. So try to remember that. Once again, we will talk about the language proficiency. So in terms of language proficiency, so listening skill, especially through the audio. Okay, now when you come in contact with the video or visual, the listening might be little bit poor or weaker. So it is better you avoid videos or the visuals. So try to concentrate on listening. So for this, language lab is very good option. We have a language laboratory in HPT college for the PG students and for the functional English students. Okay, so that language laboratory has resources to provide you different kind of a environment for listening. So you can listen, and you can listen BBC podcast, and the material or the stuff, the content which is there, that is very good for the listening. It will develop your ability of listening, and when you listen, you pronounce. Okay, so you produce what you listen. So that is why listening is the basic thing that is very important. So your school can give a thought over the language laboratory. It is not a big deal to set up a language laboratory. It is just a classroom which is equipped with the resources which are helpful for the audios. There may be some audio tapes, maybe the, like, all the audio material, the content, maybe the PC, the internet accessibility and all. Speaking, practice pronunciation, intonation and fluency. How can we do it, and how can we make students do it? Practice pronunciation. Do we actually need to stand in front of the mirror and practice the fluency and pronunciation? No, we don't need to do that. Then what can we do? We don't need to take that much very seriously.
You should start thinking.
Yes.
We actually don't speak Kannada. Why? Because we possess a complex.
Yes. Yeah. We feel like, yeah, I might go wrong, my pronunciation might be wrong, I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Okay, check out the pronunciation on the Google. Okay, but start using those complex and difficult words as well. Start speaking. First of all, the first rule is start speaking without any pressure, without any second thought. Start speaking. Speak among yourself, speak among your colleagues, then speak in front of your students. Okay, if you start speaking, your students will speak. If you don't speak, your students will not speak. How can you expect students to learn English language when you don't speak in the class? How can you expect your students to speak English, to speak good English, or to write good English when you are not supporting them? Okay, so you need to give them that kind of a support. So practice it. So obviously this is not going to happen within 1 year, within 2 years. It is going to take, it is a kind of a evolution. It is a long procedure. You don't become a proficient or a perfect teacher or a kind of a, you cannot say, we can say that you can become master within 1 year or within 2 years. No, it's a process. So give time to yourself. Give time, enough time to yourself. It's a process. So accept it is a process. So do not just give up. Do not lose hope when it is not happening. Okay, reading. Encourage extensive and intensive reading. We know that there are different types of reading: intensive reading, extensive reading, skimming hai, scanning hai, and all that. So, what do you mean by extensive and intensive reading? Huh?
Actually, scanning is what you do in the user without you are reading of the content or a given item. This is intensely reading.
Scan. The meaning is there in the scan. Scan. You need to find out a particular information. So you scan. Yeah. Yeah. So you scan the passage. Huh. Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Intensive reading is you are consciously paying attention to the news and mapping it in your brain.
Yes. For the deeper understanding, intensive reading is meant for the deeper understanding. You know, sometimes you read a novel. Okay. Just imagine you are reading a novel which is not prescribed in your course book, but you are reading a novel. You read the novel, you understood the story, but okay, there are two people, both of them read the novel, but the other person read the novel and his purpose was intensive reading, deeper understanding. He went to that particular page, he read that lines again and again, and the purpose was to understand the sentence structure, sentence pattern. I like the sentence very much. I like the sentence pattern very much. So again, I am going back to the page, I am reading it. I have underlined it. So do that. This is going to make a great difference in your life. Reading only for understanding is different, but reading for the implementation again it is different. So intensive reading, deeper understanding, and when you understand it deeply, you can implement it. So when you are able to implement it, you can spread it. And the most important rule of learning is when you start talking, you learn yourself. Okay, when you have all the knowledge but you are not using it, you are not speaking in the class, so you are not going to learn. That will remain there, suppressed somewhere. Okay, so open it, use all your resources, whatever you have learned. Writing, focus on composition, coherence, and style. Obviously, as a teacher, you are a role model in front of the students, so you should be perfect in your writing. Now we know that just because we are continuously on a WhatsApp, social media, we keep on typing and we have an option of autocorrect. So nowadays we have started making lots of spelling mistakes. So that is a major drawback. So just make sure that we do not make spelling mistakes in front of our students. Okay. So this is very important that we should be very precise, accurate when it comes to the writing. Improve vocabulary and grammar. We have discussed this. Uh, Read extensively in English, including books, articles, educational materials related to your field. Obviously, as I told you, you should be open and you should have that adaptability. Whatever comes, whatever I see, yeah, this is about English. Okay, maybe English journal, English news, or English drama, English movie. How many English movies have you watched on the Netflix? Subscribe Netflix, watch it, enjoy it, keep the captions on. You can learn English very nicely. Vocabulary building apps. There are many vocabulary building apps. As sir said that we should have a good bank of vocabulary. Yeah, this is very important. You cannot learn it all together and you cannot mug up the entire dictionary. But you can learn some of the important words, obviously gradually. That is again a gradual process. Okay, it is a process. We keep on, every day we learn new words. So how we have to deal with this? Like we cannot say that we will be a master soon. But if we have a good sentence pattern, if we had a good sentence construction, I think even if we have a limited vocabulary, we can manage speaking. Okay. Obviously, we are going to feel that yes, I should have more vocabulary, but we can somehow manage. So first of all, try to correct your structure pattern, sentence pattern. That is very important. Grammar, obviously we have learned it since our school time. So once again, obviously we need to revise it, we need to summarize it. So unless we summarize it, we cannot understand it. It is a kind of a procedure. So after 12 years we have in service training. Why do we have in service training? So just to revise all those things once again. So similarly, we have learned grammar, we know everything till the B.Ed, but we need to revise it once again. Okay. So this is like a booster dose. We need it again and again. So be ready. Don't say that I know everything. I am full of knowledge. Now I am full of knowledge. So that means there is no place for the extra knowledge. So say that I am hungry for the knowledge. Then you will get more. Enhance speaking and listening skills. How can you enhance speaking and listening skills among the students? Practice speaking, as we mentioned about this. Engage in conversations with colleagues, students, or native speakers to practice fluency and pronunciations. Okay. If you do not have colleagues around you who can speak good English, that doesn't mean that you should not encourage. That does not mean that you should not initiate for that. Okay. If you start speaking, others will follow you. So just try doing that. Listening podcast, we already mentioned that there are many TED talks which are very like they can encourage you, they can like influence you in many ways. That is not only for your English understanding or English learning, but that is also there for the motivation and like many other skills. Command over English, for that assess your current level. That means self assessment, or I said like self introspection. So you can assess yourself. What is my level? Do I fall in the category of the basic? Do I fall in the category of the intermediate? Do I fall in the category of the advanced level? So what is my category? I think my category is first or second or third. So now I have to go up, one level up. So what are the options? These are the resources available to me. So I am going to utilize these resources and I am going to upgrade myself. So command over English is important, but first of all, try to find out what is your level and then try to upgrade your level step by step. So step by step learning is very important, and be accessible to all the resources. Set clear goals. So you should have specific goals. As I said that I feel that in when you are dealing with the class, I feel that yes, now my interaction is very good with the students. I keep on interacting with the students. So when I interact, I get so involved in the interaction that I tend to forget complete my syllabus. Then my syllabus is not completed in time. So this is where you need to understand what you have to do. Okay, set your goals and stick to your goal. Achieve your goal. So if you know that you are not good in pronunciation, then try finding out what are the resources, what are the exams available online which can help me to improve my pronunciations, and or you can take help of your senior teachers. You can ask them, and obviously you can definitely take help of your colleagues. Okay. Again, professional development and training. So we have mentioned this point earlier that this is the ongoing education. You cannot say that I am educated and I have achieved like PhD, and so I don't need to learn further, I don't need to acquire any more degree further. So that is wrong. So according to me, you should enroll yourself in advanced courses and get certification. Okay, there are many courses online and offline, but nowadays it is very much easy for all of us to enroll online and you can get certificate as well. So this gives you a very good opportunity to expose yourself to the new learning environment. Because of that, you meet with the different teachers, different people, you exchange the language. So when you exchange language, you get new words, you get new sentence pattern. Okay, so that helps you a lot. Peer learning is very, very important. Nowadays, maybe newly appointed teachers, maybe they are so confident or maybe they are overconfident and they feel shy to take help of their seniors. When I joined, I remember when I joined in 2000, I felt that I should observe the lessons of my seniors. I used to sit in their classes. I remember there were many teachers. I don't remember the exactly name of those teachers, but there were many senior teachers. Sasrabuddha madam was there. If you know her, I don't know. But there were many senior teachers. I used to sit in their classes to just notice and to just observe that how do they conduct actual class. Because I know that I have taken a degree, I am MA BEd, but what about next? How to actually conduct class? So I used to sit on the back bench. I used to observe that how she actually conducts class. And observing the lesson of only one teacher is not enough because every teacher has different strategies. So I used to sit in every teacher's class. So pick up their strategies, pick up their methodology. If you are impressed, obviously you can follow that. You can use that methodology.